So in my instance, basically the lack of music education was priceless because I was not properly educated as a musician or obviously as a producer or anything like that, which for me gave me a lot of, I feel, freedom because I don't know how to do things properly or by the book. And I did go to school for photography and things like that. And I'm so happy that I didn't go for music because studying photography, I ended school not wanting to touch a camera. Something about the rigid kind of like structure of the system of school, the specific one that I went to was not empowering in a creative way. So I'm happy that it wasn't music because music was a side thing for me always. And being a side thing created that little intimate relationship I have with music because there's life, there's the hardship of education or the lack of, or, you know, work and needing to do things and producing content, things like that. And then on the side, there's the love that nobody knows about. That's how music existed for me. And I think for a lot of musicians, a lot of you vocalists watching this, you know, I know that you have an intimate relationship with music. And you had that relationship since you were little, you know, kids, just singing, just being intoxicated by sounds. And, you know, so for me, I kind of like not putting this into the light, you know, with, you know, showing teachers or classes or, you know, classmates my little intimate secret love with music was actually a form of soft nurturing of that world, secret world a little bit. So in my instance, that's the lack of education allowed me to keep it as a very sacred and also almost spiritual practice, to make music, to write music, to think about music. And then in more kind of like down-to-earth terms, when I needed to get educated, because I do believe that everything starts from, you know, developing your skill. So basically, once you develop your skill enough and you kind of like spend enough hours, you know, working on your skills, whether it's a vocalist or being, you know, a mixing engineer or an instrumentalist, I just think that you need to take your skill to a level that will allow you to operate instinctually. So that means you almost don't need to think about performance because you're so experienced. Your skill is so ingrained in you. So you kind of like get to let your passion and your intuition work through you, and you don't get caught up in the how to. So that's so that is just to say that education is important in the sense of developing a skill. And in my case, it was very pinpointed. When I needed to learn something, I envisioned a snare sound for myself or something like that. I was like, how do I do this? And then I start to watch videos or hear kind of like, or read about it and search, you know, Google just stuff of like, you know, low end on a snare drum, or like how to get this voice, or how to, you know, you start by envisioning something, and then you have the skill to do it, and you develop that skill by just being very particular about what you want to learn. Because if you have the image of what you want to create, it's very easy to learn just that. And for me, school was not that. School was like learning about things, you know, the outskirts of what I want to know. And I didn't want that. I just wanted to learn what I needed right now and just what would help me to kind of like facilitate what I wanted to hear. So that created a weird situation where I'm such like a hands-on person in the studio, and I'm so technical in a way, and I know so many things about the softwares I work with and all that. But then when I go to watch TV, I go to my wife, baby, help me, I don't know. Like I get lost because I don't know anything about operating anything that is not exactly what I needed. And even within the softwares that I'm using, it's just, I don't know anything that is not what I needed. I saw tutorials, or I needed to do something, or I got to know people that I admire that are the best in the field, and I kind of like I spied on how they do things and how they approach things. Uh, like there's a mixing engineer, Chad Blake, whom I adore, and he did a lot of Paul Simon stuff and Peter Gabriel and the Black Keys, and those releases were so influential for me, and as a sound engineer. And when I met him, the only thing that I was concerned about is like the mid range. How do you like? I had a very specific ask in my head when I saw him, approach sound. So that's what I can say about education. It's almost like I'm self-taught. So being self-taught, I need to be very precise about what I want to learn. That's my 2 cents about educating yourself. It's just being precise, developing your skills so you can let your intuition flow, and preserve a spiritual, pure place for music in your life. Yeah, good luck to you all. Much love.